Hello, everyone. A very warm good afternoon to one and all present over here. I am back again with a wonderful session of IELTS practice test where I'm going to solve questions for you just to let you know that how you can ace your IELTS examination and what are the things that you need to take in consideration before going ahead for your IELTS examination. Good afternoon, Sayash. Oh, ma'am, you got a new mic today. Yes, I did. Got a new mic. So thank you so much for this. Hi, Basit. Very warm welcome of you all. I hope you guys are doing great. Okay, so now without wasting any further time, let's get started. Come on, let me know everyone who are here, and please mark your attendance so that we can start up our session. Okay. Hi, Ranveer. Very good afternoon. Hi, Sumit. Very good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. You have a new background. No, I don't have a new background. Is this whole setup? Everything is working. Sumit, I'd rather focus you that I'd rather request you to focus on studying, right? Good afternoon, Sharda. Very warm good afternoon to you. Now, chalo. Now, without wasting any further time, let's get started. Let's see what are the topics that we'll be covering today. So, the very first thing that I'll be covering is definitely the speaking portion because we have got our speaking today. Okay. Yes, speaking part 1, part 2 and part 3. So because I have in my previous session I have already dealt with the writing format 1 and 2. In first one I've got you covered with pie chart, and the second one I've covered the writing task 2, which was opinion based essay, and I've solved it in front of you. I hope you guys have visited that. I hope you guys have watched that video and it might have helped you. But today I'm going to talk to you about the speaking module and how you can ace your speaking section with multiple questions. And as always, I have taken the reference of the questions from the Cambridge series itself. So yes, there we go. Let's get started. Very good afternoon, Anjali. I hope you're doing good. Now, so let's talk about very first part, which is part 1 of speaking. Okay, so in part 1 of speaking, if you already know about it, that we have part 1, which is an introduction part. Okay, in this introduction part we get majorly 1 minute to speak. So let me just write it down for you so that you remember, and just for your reminder. Okay, you usually get 1 minute to speak on the topic. अच्छा, ठीक है. Now over here I want you to know that majorly क्या होता है in task 1, you are not supposed to elaborate your responses a lot. It's just that you need to make sure that whatever question is being given to you, you are writing you are speaking only the amount of question that is being asked. You are covering only that amount of part that is being asked to you, right? It means whatever the question is being asked to you, you don't need to elaborate or make up a question, make up a story out of it. You just need to answer it correctly as it says, right? Ma'am, how to start speaking in this 1 minute and how to end it? Okay. So when you're starting up your speaking, it's really very important that take opening statement into consideration. Okay? Okay. When I say opening statement is important, I mean opening statement is important for you to ace good bands in your IELTS examination, right? When I say opening statement, just you can use, I have already told you in my previous sessions, like, well, according to me, as far as my choice is concerned, according to my opinion, according to my perspective, you can come up with these kind of things when you are dealing with particular question type in task 1, right? So if you gonna start for 1 minute, आपको सिर्फ उतना आंसर देना है जितना क्वेश्चन ने पूछा. For example, do you work or do you study? So if you work, just talk about your work. If you study, just talk about your study. In that also, don't give way too short answers. When I say way too short answers, I mean that do not give, do you study? Yes, I study. Do you work? Yes, I work. No. At least give a brief, description about your job profile, or at least give a brief description about your student profile, right? Now, ma'am, your class looks a bit different today. No, it's not like that. I think it's the same. Ma'am, please tell us some opening statement and closing statement. Sure, of course. So if I talk about opening statement, is going to be like, well, according to my, if there's a question that is dealing with a choice of yours, if there's a question that's dealing with the opinion of yours, then you can go ahead with that, and you can, just say like, well, according to my perspective, or you can take a talk about according to me, or I believe, I majorly prefer. If you agree, to be very honest, I do not agree with this portion because this is my reason. On the other hand, if I talk about closing statement, then make sure I have already told you that whenever you're starting up a response and ending a response, your indication is very important. Indication का मतलब, वह जब भी आप बात करने जाते हो किसी से, take it in a normal sense, take it in a logical manner. जब भी आप किसी से बात करने जाते हो, you need to tell that person, right, what you are going to talk about. Usually से पता है आज क्या हुआ, you usually do that, right? So instead of doing, definitely you don't have to do this with the examiner. What you need to do is you need to give them indication. कैसे आप दोगे? You need to follow proper structure. For example, introduction, body and conclusion. ठीक है? अब इतने छोटे आंसर्स में इंट्रोडक्शन, बॉडी, कंक्लूजन तो दे नहीं सकते, तो व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू यूज ओपनिंग एंड क्लोजिंग स्टेटमेंट. क्लोजिंग स्टेटमेंट में लास्टली और फाइनली और ओवरऑल और इन द एंड, आई वुड जस्ट लाइक टू से दैट दिस इज हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू एंड योर कॉन्वर्सेशन. क्लियर? क्लियर है? वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून अनुराग, वेलकम टू द सेशन. क्लियर है? इज इट क्लियर? लेट मी नो. Yes, chalo. Now let's move ahead and let me dive deep into the question and answer portion. ठीक है? तो मैंने क्या बोला? You need to speak for 1 minute in this particular module. So this is again Cambridge 11 test 1 speaking test. Okay, if you want to refer. Now, here is the question. Part 1, the examiner asks the candidate about himself or herself, his or her home, work or studies, and other familiar topics. So basically, this is what you need to deal with part 1. Now, let's have some question over here. What sorts of food do you like eating the most? And here is why. Right? Examiner will be asking you why, but at the same time be ready to give us certain level of explanation that you don't need to speak for too long, but you need to complete the question. बहुत difference है दोनों में. Understand it wisely. ठीक है? आपको बहुत देर तक बात नहीं करनी examiner से. You don't have to set up a panchayat over there with the examiner. Don't do that. Don't end up over explaining him. Don't end up under explaining him. ठीक है? तो it's just that you need to have this wiseness that how you are going to cater to a particular question for a particular time period. ठीक है? Again, the examiner will be checking your flexibility to deal with the question type. So it's really very important for you to be flexible enough with your language, with the content building, with the idea creation and with everything. चलो, ठीक है? Now, समझ आ रहा है everyone? जल्दी बता दो. Good. Chalo, now let's move ahead. What sorts of food do you like eating the most? Now, one thing I would like to tell you. Basically, सबसे पहले go for topic specific vocab. That I usually say. Usually you might have heard me saying this. ठीक है? So, go for topic specific vocab. Those vocab that they are going to help you in order to ace your topic. ठीक है? Ma'am, what is in English? Okay, now if I talk about topic specific vocab, the moment you get to know what is your topic, then you're going to filter out the vocabulary that you're going to deal with. Okay, now if I talk about the first one, which is cuisine. Okay, क्यों? क्योंकि वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट फूड. अगर आप देखोगे यहाँ से यहाँ तक, दो यू गेट टू सी द क्वेश्चन, बट एग्जामिनेशन के टाइम पे यू डोंट गेट टू सी द टास्क 1 क्वेश्चन एंड टास्क 4 क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, so sorry, task 1 question and task 3 question. The 2-1 you're going to get it. The second one will be cue card जो कि आपको दिया जाएगा for preparation and all that. So you will be able to see the question, you will be able to read it properly. You're going to get enough time to read it and prepare for it. But in task 1, you can either ask the examiner to repeat the question, or you need to understand it at one go, because you will not be able to look to the question, you will not be able to read the question. Okay, the only option you got is to understand and listen it carefully when the examiner is asking you. Okay, pehla question kya hai? What sorts of food do you like eating the most? Now I know there are a lot of candidates who start giving a generalized responses, like a person should eat this, a person should have this kind of a diet. Don't do that. It's you written over here. Focus on you. You've got to be talking about yourself when you're dealing with introduction portion, when you're dealing with part 1, right? So it's really very important for you to take this in consideration. Now I have written some topic specific vocab over here. Cuisine. Instead of using food or dishes, you can use cuisine. Cuisine is a style of cooking. We've got Italian, we've got different like Thai cuisine, we've got South Indian, we've got North Indian. So these are the style of cooking that contains different kind of way of cooking, and also it contains different kind of methods of cooking, right? Now that is Italian cuisine or Indian cuisine. Staple food. What is a staple food? Staple food is something that is being consumed normally, right? Now, basic or commonly consumed food, for example, rice and bread. What is organic? Food produced without synthetic chemicals. Food is produced without synthetic chemicals, which is known as organic food. Inorganic are something which contains a lot of chemicals and preservatives. जंक फूड, अनहेल्दी और प्रोसेस्ड फूड. ठीक है, ये तो हो गया काइंड ऑफ फूड दैट वी आर गोइंग टू हैव. अच्छा, नाउ because you're talking about food, you will be needing words that describes the taste. Okay, for example, you want to describe taste which is a little bit sour, so you can name it as sour or tangy. You want to talk about the taste which is very much sweet, like a lot sweet, that is not known as sweet, that is known as sugary. Okay, sugary. And something which has a minimal or a mild sweet, like a normal sweet that a person likes, it's going to be sweet. Okay, talking about candies, you can talk about confectionaries. And if you want to have like spicy, you know what spicy means. Okay, bitter, you know what bitter means. If I'm gonna brief, like if you had bitter gourd, then you're gonna encounter how a bitter would taste like. Okay, so this is what you need to take in consideration when you're talking about the taste of a particular food. Why am I telling you this? Because these words bring up the clarity that I am asking, that I continuously ask you to come up with. Okay, ma'am, my question, please tell me, I have a doubt. Ma'am, what is panchayat called in English? Okay, panchayat is like, panchayat definitely a Hindi word. It's basically a group of people, discussing about a certain issue. That is what is known as panchayat. A brief description about it. I basically don't know. I actually know it, but I don't recall it. I am not able to recall it as of now. Okay. Ma'am, can we say delicious? Can we say it? Can we pronounce it delicious, or can we name it delicious? Yes. In order to describe a taste of a food, you can name it delicious, palatable, delectable. Okay. Or you can call it, like, we have different words for like crispy, or bad or stale. We have these kind of words also. If you know some positive words about something, you need to know the negative words about something. So it's something that you need to be aware of them. You are going to encounter the positive aspect of something. At times there are going to be possibility that you need to describe the negative aspect of something as well. So if you know the positive words, make sure you also know the negative words in order to balance up your responses, right? So it's not like you need to fetch the vocabulary at the 11th hour. Don't do that. So it's just make yourself aware of it. Okay, now ab aa jate is pe. What sorts of food you like eating the most and why? So here is a quick sample response for you guys that I have prepared. Well, I enjoy a variety of cuisines. But if I had to choose, I would say I'm particularly fond of Italian food. Now, how beautifully the build up is being done. For example, well, definitely the opening statement. I enjoy a lot of cuisine, but you are not being asked that talk about all the cuisine you like, but that one cuisine that you like eating the most. So make sure you mention that when you're mentioning the responses. But if I had to choose, I would say I am particularly fond of the Italian food. Dishes like pasta, pizza are not only delicious but also comforting. Okay, so dishes like, so once you have mentioned the particular food or a particular cuisine, make sure you validate them with example so that there is a sense of clarity in the responses. Right now, I appreciate the simplicity and freshness of the ingredients used, such as tomatoes, olive oil, and herbs, which bring out rich and satisfying flavors. Additionally, don't forget to use connectors when you are adding up a piece of information. So, make sure whenever you're talking about a cuisine, you name the cuisine first. For example, name the dishes, why you like it. The reason is very important and it is being asked in the question. It's not hidden as well, right? So because they want to know the reason why you like a particular cuisine or why you like a particular food, then make sure you dive deep into the process of making, the ingredients that are being used, because you definitely know why you like certain food, why, what makes you feel like you like it, what makes it delectable, you already know it. So make sure you describe it in a certain manner. Okay. Can we use also or meanwhile in place of additionally? Yes, you can use. You can use also. You can use additionally, in addition to, furthermore, moreover, also, and you can use all of them whenever you feel like. Okay. Now, additionally, I like that Italian meals often feel light yet fulfilling, making them perfect for both casual and special occasion. Now, after this answer, once you're gonna read this answer or write, once you're gonna read this answer or listen this answer, no question is going to be there in your mind that you can be asking. This is how a perfect and a complete answer sound, not overanalyzed, not underanalyzed, perfectly based, answer over here. Okay, ma'am, what do you like to eat the most? Okay, you're asking me. I majorly prefer Indian cuisine, rich in taste, having a lot of vegetables, healthy diet. And I'll not say that I'm way too much into healthy diet. I'm not. I'm very much foodie. That is something that I accept. But at the same time, I am really into, irrespective of any other cuisine, I'm really into Indian cuisine. And majorly the South Indian ones. Okay. Not a lot in North Indian ones. But yes, at times I usually have junk food as well. So yes, a balance of everything. Okay. Now, ये हो गया डन. तो क्या क्या सीखा? ओपनिंग स्टेटमेंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इफ यू वांट टू स्कोर रियली गुड. ठीक है, इट्स नॉट ओनली अबाउट कि आंसर दे दिया खत्म किया, नहीं करना है ऐसा. क्यों नहीं करना है? बिकॉज ओनली आंसर इज नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट. व्हाट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट इज हाउ यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग इट. एग्जामिनर को भी यही चाहिए. एग्जामिनर डजंट वांट्स यू टू से दैट you eat healthy food, you eat nutrition rich food, and you are into vegan food. He doesn't wants you to know that. He doesn't want to know that of yours, right? He's nowhere concerned about what kind of food you eat. The only thing he's concerned about how you are presenting your response and how clearly you are presenting. If you are eating a nutrition rich food, if you are having even junk food, if you like, so how you are presenting it, what makes you fell in love with the junk food, what makes you fell in love with the processed food. So this is what the examiner wants to know, right? Hi Vikas, hello, welcome to the session. Okay, chalo, now let's move to the next question. Who normally does the cooking in your home? Why and why not? Who normally does the cooking? You don't have to think about it much. बहुत ज़्यादा सोचने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Who normally does? I think for majority of people, their mother do the cooking, right? And at major their parents may, like their father might be the one who cooks a lot, or their sisters might be the one who cooks a lot. So you just don't need to think about it. बहुत ज़्यादा idea पे efforts invest करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, energy invest करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. What you need to make sure is like the way the content you are presenting. Idea पे बहुत कम focus करना है, सबसे ज़्यादा focus करना है the way you are presenting it, the way you are portraying it. Okay? Now, here is a sample answer for you guys. At home, my mother is usually the one who takes charge of cooking. So, at home, my mother is usually the one who takes charge of cooking. Majorly, this is what I told you. She enjoys preparing meal for the family and she's quite skilled in the kitchen. Often experimenting with new recipes. However, we all help out from time to time, especially during weekends or special occasions of cooking. It's something we sometimes share, a way to enjoy or cherish. This is how you have ended your response. Neatly, completed, precise, everything. Right? So, what was the question? Who normally does the cooking at your home? So at my home, my mother usually takes the charge of the cooking. Why? Why? Because she is very skilled. She usually experiment, with different. She usually does the experiment with different ingredients and cuisines, which definitely comes out to be really a really tasty dish eventually. And from time to time, we also help. I also help my mother, or my family members also help my mother. Be it a normal day or an occasional event where my mother has to cook a lot. So this is how you need to go ahead in order to come up with the proper response. What are the best way to extend answers in the speaking test? The best way to extend answer in a speaking test is keep on asking yourself a question. If you're talking to someone, if you're talking to someone about a certain topic, you need to be very sure how you're going to deal with it. When I say how you're going to deal with it, I mean that whenever you are solving a particular, whenever you are questioning someone, or when you are talking to someone, what kind of question that you are going to ask them when they are going to answer your response. Right? For example, let me just ask you a question. Would you recommend someone to have junk food 24/7? No, you would not recommend. Why you don't recommend? Because this is the reason. Now, in order to justify your reason, you can either go ahead with explaining a lot, or you can go ahead with providing an example that's gonna support your responses, that's gonna support your justification for the same. Okay? Got it? Now, done. Let's move ahead. Task 1 done. All good? Clear? Now, let's talk about task 2. Okay, if I talk about task 2, we've got a question out here which is asking, describe a house. Now, you can see a cue card in a box. This is how you're going to receive. Okay, for this, now in this task, you're gonna have like 1 minute for preparation. For this preparation, you're going to be provided a pen and paper. And then for 2 minutes, you need to speak. So, as I told you that in task 1, we don't usually have to elaborate on our questions. ठीक है? तो क्या करना है कि task 2 में अब क्या करें? Task 2 में we need to elaborate. For that, you need to make sure that you take certain points into consideration. सबसे पहले, your answer has to be in sequence. Your answers has to be in sequence. So, you need to be very sure of it. ठीक है? कौन कौन से? Describe the house and apartment that someone you know lives in. Someone you know lives in. You, आप किस पे रहते हो? None of their concern. What they want to know? Someone you know who lives in. It can be anyone. It can be your friends. It can be your family. It can be your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, anyone. Okay? Except you. It's really very important to take this into consideration. You should say, whose house or apartment this is, where the house or apartment is, what it looks like inside, and explain what you like or dislike about the person's house or apartment. So what you can see over here is the fact is the question is like, you know, the question is belonging to someone else's, but you need to give your opinion, you need to give your perspective on that. Okay. Ma'am, please tell me about how to make the use of 1 minute time given before the cue card. Okay, so basically, when you get that 1 minute for preparation, it's really very important for you to take in consideration that and use it properly. Do not waste your time. Always. I know question पढ़ के मुझे लगा अरे मैं तो बोलूंगी या बोलूंगा. I don't need to prepare for that. Trust me, you are at loss. Trust me, seriously. Never do this. That's good. I know that you guys are comfortable. You guys are very much comfortable. You guys are very fluent, very sharp, very intelligent. But at the same time, playing with time definitely is going to cost you something. Right? So, what you need to do, you can prepare a diagram. I have already told you, I have already guided you with that. So what you can do is, अब जैसे क्या लिखा है, you have to talk about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes to help you if you wish. And there is no wrong to look upon to the notes again and again. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. You can refer to your notes as many times as you can. One thing, and second thing that I want to make you aware of, once the cue card, once the 1 minute time is being completed, your cue card will be taken away from by the examiner. ठीक है, तो क्यू कार्ड भी नहीं रहेगा आपके पास, क्वेश्चंस भी नहीं रहेंगे आपके पास. यू नीड टू मेक श्योर आपकी नोट मेकिंग इतनी अच्छी होनी चाहिए दैट यू आर अवेयर ऑफ व्हाट काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन यू आर आंसरिंग एंड द सेम टाइम यू आर अवेयर ऑफ व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू आंसर. ठीक है, क्या करा, अब यहाँ पे आ जाओ. डिस्क्राइब अ हाउस एंड अपार्टमेंट दैट समवन यू नो लिव्स इन. क्या लिख दिया यहाँ पे, फ्रेंड लिख दिया. ठीक है, नेम ऑफ द फ्रेंड लिख दिया. डन. सबसे पहले क्वेश्चन, समवन यू नो, कौन था, फ्रेंड, क्या नाम था, रिया. दैट्स ऑल. Whose house apartment is this? Done. Where the house or apartment is, you can talk about the location a bit. ठीक है, where, inside city center, near museum, near temple, near school, whatever you feel like. Where is it? Okay, you can talk about the city as well to be very precise. ठीक है. How important is pronunciation and how can I improve mine, ma'am? Please help. Says just allow me a minute. Let me complete the planning. Then I'll be coming back to you. Right now. Where the house, what it looks like inside, what it looks like inside. एक घर है, अब इसको ऐसा समझना. अब it's not like कि अरे मैम इसमें क्या बोले, इसमें क्या बोले. घर है, घर कैसा दिखता है. अपार्टमेंट्स होते हैं, अपार्टमेंट्स कैसे दिखते हैं. नाउ फर्स्ट डिसाइड कि उसके पास हाउस है या अपार्टमेंट है. इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द अपार्टमेंट, देन यहाँ पे एक मेंशन कर लो दैट यू आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट द अपार्टमेंट. एंड आपका जो भी डिस्क्रिप्शन होगा, वट एवर डिस्क्रिप्शन यू आर गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड, वो ऐसा ही होना चाहिए विद रिस्पेक्ट टू अपार्टमेंट इफ यू आर मेंशनिंग. और इफ यू आर मेंशनिंग अ हाउस, with respect to house, it needs to be mentioned. Apartments क्या होते हैं, majorly flats होते हैं, उसमें 3 BHK 2 BHK, we've got rooms, different rooms divided like living room, bedroom, drawing room, something like this, right? तो हमने क्या बताया, what it looks like inside. Inside कैसे दिखता है, you can take in consideration the interior designing, the furnishing that is being used, the ceiling that is being used, the kind of equipments or the electronic devices that are being used, the bifurcation, the designing of the walls or the paintings that are being kept, the room, the bifurcation of the different rooms, how big the room is and how it is being bifurcated. Everything that you can mention, these are the things that you can at the same time mention in your responses. So how it looks, it from how and what it looks like inside. नहीं, what तो नहीं लिखो, it will be better. Inside you're gonna write and you're gonna get an idea कि आप किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हो. Is it a 4 BHK? ठीक है. Now you might see मेरी डिजाइन की स्पेलिंग गलत है, मैंने अट्रैक्टिव पूरा नहीं लिखा है, इंटीरियर की भी स्पेलिंग लाइक अ लिटिल बिट ब्लर है, ठीक है, इनसाइड 4 BHK एंड आई हैव ट्राइड टू राइट इन कॉन्ट्रैक्शन. देखो यू गोना गेट ओनली 1 minute, बहुत ज्यादा टाइम नहीं मिलेगा आप लोगों को, राइट? सो यू नॉट गोना गेट अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम. द ओनली टाइम यू गोना गेट इज 1 minute. उस 1 minute में like it's totally up to you how you're going to provide it. Okay. Hi Nasir, very good afternoon, welcome to this session. ठीक है, समझ में आ रही बात? ये हो गई प्लानिंग. नाउ व्हाई एम आई राइटिंग दिस? अच्छा चलो इसको पहले कंप्लीट कर लेते हैं. इनसाइड हो गया. एंड एक्सप्लेन व्हाट यू लाइक और डिसलाइक अबाउट द पर्सन्स हाउस और अपार्टमेंट. व्हाट यू लाइक, इज इट द व्यू यू लाइक? अब यहाँ पे लिख दिया क्या, यहाँ पे लिखा है इसे लाइक, ठीक है, यहाँ पे लिखा है इसे लाइक. What do you like or dislike? If you dislike it, that is okay. Even that is okay. ठीक है, चलो like लिख दिया. Like लिखने के बाद क्या लिखा? What do you like? Interiors, paintings, view, size of the rooms, and that's all. Done with the planning. This is all what you need to make sure. Ma'am, people say that a person's behavior is known from his words. Is this true? Yes, it is true. The way the people talk, the way the people behave, the way the people respond, it's been known through their words and definitely the action eventually. Okay? Now, done with this. This is the planning that you want. Done. Make sure your planning, जो भी आप लिखो planning करते टाइम पे, it doesn't needs to be grammatically correct. It doesn't needs to be the spelling doesn't needs to be accurate because वो सिर्फ आपको समझने के लिए लिखना है. बट ऐसा भी नहीं है कि अपनी राइटिंग खुद ही ना समझ पाओ तो इवेंचुअली जो भी नोट्स बनाए सब बेकार हो जाए. एटलीस्ट इतनी लेजिबल राइटिंग होनी चाहिए दैट यू आर एबल टू रीड योर रिस्पॉन्सेज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. ठीक है, नाउ डन एवरीथिंग. ठीक है, now if you're gonna notice that someone were inside like, if you're gonna notice that these words are actually indicating that how will I be writing, how will I be presenting my response in a sequence, because I have already told you that you need to make sure that you write your answers, you present your answers in a sequence. This is the reason you need to make sure कि आप ऐसे words लिखें जो आपको indicate करे that your answers are in sequence. Good. Done with the planning. चलो response पे चलते हैं. Have a quick look over here. One of my closest friends, Ria, lives in a beautiful apartment in the heart of the city. It is located on 110th floor of the modern high-rise building. If you want to be precise on the location, you can be precise. If you want to be precise on the city, you can be precise on that as well. Okay. Offering stunning views of the surrounding skyline, the apartment is in busy area, close to shopping center, restaurant and public transport, making it incredibly convenient place to live. Now these words are telling how beautiful her apartment is, how beautiful the locality is, where the apartment is located. It is clearly describing. Now, inside the apartment is a spacious and tastefully decorated. It has 2 bedrooms, a living room, a modular kitchen and a small balcony. The living room is my favorite part of the apartment, with large windows that allow plenty of natural light to flood in. The furniture is minimalistic but comfortable, with neutral tones that creates a calming atmosphere. The kitchen is sleek and fully equipped, perfect for someone who loves to cook like Ria. Her bedroom is cozy and well organized, with soft lighting and simple decor, which adds to the overall peaceful vibe of the space. Okay, so here it's written vibe, but make sure, try not to use the verb like vibe. You can say ambience. Okay, you can say environment, or creating a beautiful aura. You can use the word like this. Okay, what I particularly write about, now you you can see that the moment there is a transition in the different idea, it's like clearly indicated to the examiner, right? So it's really very important for you to make sure the transitions that you are having in your responses should be smooth. Examiner ko all of a sudden you are not going to surprise him with multiple responses. ठीक है? तो जो transitions होनी चाहिए responses में, it has to be clear, right? Now, large windows and high ceiling, it feels very welcoming and relaxing. However, the one thing I would like probably dislike is that it can get a bit noisy at time due to the central location, especially during peak hours. But overall, it is a wonderful place to live, combining convenience and comfort. Now, it's not important that you always gonna like something, you always gonna love something. If you don't like anything, if there's certain aspect of that particular place you don't like, please feel free to mention it. Examiner is not going to get impressed if you're gonna praise everything all the time. Definitely not. Neither he is gonna be impressed if you're gonna put a negative impact on everything. It's not like that. It's how you present it. If you like something, present it. If you don't like something, then also you feel free to present it in a certain manner. Okay? Chalo. Now let's move to the next one. Basically here we come to part 3. Acha, one thing that I would like to make you sure of it, ki with every now every task, I'm so sorry. Every task might also include follow-up question. ठीक है, तो सारे टास्क में आपके फॉलो अप क्वेश्चंस मिल सकते हैं. विद ईच एंड एवरी टास्क यू कैन कम अप विद अ फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन. जरूरी नहीं है, इट माइट बी पॉसिबिलिटी एग्जामिनर might ask to you or might not, even depends on the examiner, because he will be allocating the band score to you then and there, okay, based on your response. Part 3 discussion topic. Basically this kind of part 3 discussion, basically this question type is usually related to the task 2 topic. जो भी आपने अभी तक task 2 में बोला है, with respect to that he is going to be asking you question, and these questions are going to be related to your opinions and your experiences, and definitely not any kind of IQ question or any kind of knowledgeable questions or something like that. Is going to be definitely and entirely dedicated to the what do I say, the experience or opinions you're having. ठीक है, अब सुनो इसको. What kinds of home are most popular in your country? Because we were talking about homes in our previous question type, which is the cue card. Now we are going to talk about what kinds of homes are most popular in your country and why. Okay, in my country, a variety of homes are popular depending upon the region and lifestyle of the people. In urban area, now what's been bifurcated? Two kinds of areas: urban area, rural area, or you can also name it like city center or countryside. You can also name it like this. Apartments and high-rise building are quite common due to the space and constraint the growing population. Many people prefer to live in modern apartments that offer amenities like gym, swimming pools and security service. On the other hand, in rural areas, independent houses and bungalows are most popular. These homes are usually larger and comes up with more outdoor space, allowing for gardens or even small farms. Additionally, traditional homes made for local materials like bricks and wood are still favored in some religions of their culture significance. Overall, while apartments dominate the cities, standalone houses are more common in smaller towns and villages. Now, this is how a complete answer looks like. I'm not asking you to follow what's written over here. I'm just asking you, I'm just showing you, I have just read this answer to let you know that how you need to answer your questions at the time of coming up with a proper response. Discussion type, देखो, first introduction जो होता है ना, it's a little bit of warm up, ठीक है? Because you guys are going to enter into the examination hall and you're going to be nervous. That's a total fact. Okay, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, बट बाय टास्क 3 यू शुड बी कंफर्टेबल इनफ टू शेयर योर थॉट्स, ठीक है. इट्स गुड टू शेयर योर ओपिनियन, ऐसा नहीं है, भागना मत ओपिनियन शेयर करने से. एंड देयर इज नो जनरलाइज टर्म ऑफ एनीथिंग. हमेशा कोशिश करना कि वट एवर योर ओपिनियन इज यू आर एबल टू provide completeness, completeness in your responses, ठीक है. Now next is, what do you think are the advantages of living in a house rather than an apartment? So you can come up with an idea. देखो जो house होते हैं, they are customizable in nature. You can customize them, you can renovate them anytime you want, okay. Or houses are your own choices. You can also consider area, okay. So it's like when you're building up your house, you can look upon everything on a perfect note, and then you can build a houses. While with apartments it can be a little bit confined. It's a constrained area. You cannot, if you are living on a higher floors, then definitely you cannot move ahead anywhere. You are just constrained in that some 3 BHK or 4 BHK flat. You cannot customize it. You cannot add on rooms to your flats if you want to. Okay, so this is something that you need to consider. What do you think are the advantages of living in a house? तो ये सारे advantages होते हैं instead of living in an apartment, ठीक है. So this is how you can come up with the response. Do you think that everyone would like to live in a larger home? Why is that? So according to me, well, it's not necessary that everyone is willing to live in a larger house or larger home. Why? Because there can be n number of reasons. Firstly, there might be people who might be having a very small family, to which they're going to be preferring a home which is very small and concise, so that they all can live together. Also, it also depends upon the amenities that are available in the particular locality, or it also depends on the person's stability. So basically these can be the pointers. Keeping in all the pointers, it's really very important, okay. So you can name it like firstly, secondly, thirdly, like this, ठीक है. तो जब भी आप pointers mention करो, make sure you give them a sort of sequence, so that आपका answer unclear ना हो, आपका answer obscure ना हो. So and you can come up with the proper response. समझ आ रही है बात? ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं बोलना है. द ओनली एलैबोरेशन दैट यू नीड टू डू इज टास्क 2 में एटलीस्ट इतना एलैबोरेशन दे दो दैट इट्स गोइंग टू कंप्लीट द टाइम एज वेल एट इट्स गोना कंप्लीट द क्वेश्चन. मेक श्योर यू डू नॉट लीव एनी क्वेश्चन, किसी क्वेश्चन को छोड़ना नहीं है. मेक श्योर यू डोंट मिस एनी क्वेश्चन टाइप, बिकॉज वी हैव अ सर्टेन पैरामीटर एज टास्क अचीवमेंट, कोहेजन, कोहेरेंस, लेक्सिकल रिसोर्स, okay, and definitely grammatical range and accuracy. If you're going to talk about the past form, make sure you consider simple past, simple present, simple future. These things are very important. Do not add a lot of complexity in your sentences. Do not add a lot of sophistications in your vocabularies. ये सारी चीज को make sure and also do not use condescending languages which are not appropriate. Even if you dislike anything, do not make it too rude to be mentioned. So it's like really important to keep your voice decent and your language decent as well. ठीक है, clear है? It's clear? चलो. Yep, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks a lot for being here, and thanks a lot for listening. Please let me know if there's any doubt, any query. Feel free to mention it in the comment section. And all the very best to all the students who are preparing for your IELTS examination. Bye bye. Take care. See you in the next session. Bye.